In a world full of podcasts, one podcast has one episode to give you 1 week of movie news. This is the Weekly Reel. Welcome to the Weekly Reel for the week ending August the 15th. First up, we're going to talk about Weapons. Weapons had an explosive debut over the weekend, snagging $70 million worldwide, coming in number 1, easily recouping its $38 million budget. That's $43 million domestic and $28 million overseas. After one of the worst box office runs in history, which included the second Joker movie, Mickey 17, and Alto Nights, Warner Brothers has really come back to life, starting in April with the Minecraft movie. Then they followed it up with Sinners, Final Destination Bloodlines, F1 the movie, Superman, and now Weapons. Directed and written by Zach Cregger, a fast-rising horror auteur, Weapons is about 17 children from the same third-grade class who mysteriously vanish into the night, leaving just one classmate behind. A prominent advertising campaign featuring the numbers would lead you to believe they hold some sort of significance larger than the 17 kids missing or the 2:17 a.m. time they go missing, but those are really just minor details, not indicative of really any larger importance, which makes it a disappointment that they were featured so prominently in the promotional materials and then they don't actually matter very much within the movie. And so speaking of time, it's a movie that really tests the audience's time. Clocking in at just over 2 hours, it really only starts showing its hand about an hour and a half in, after rickrolling the audience not once, twice, or even 3 times, but 5 times before we start getting any type of resolution to the story. The movie is told in 5 or 6 chapters at around 15 minutes each, all focusing on one specific character. As we follow the rather pedestrian proceedings of the character's day, it's only right at the end of their chapter that we even start getting any clue to the larger children's disappearance mystery, at which point the movie promptly cuts to the start of another character's chapter, rinse and repeat that 5 times. Now, conventional wisdom is you start the story where the action begins, but this doesn't do that, which is fine if the unconventional works, but this movie is really kind of conflating convolution with characterization, waiting until it has exhausted all patience to finally start giving answers. Then the conclusion itself left me dissatisfied and disillusioned, just chalked up to magic, and most of the cursed kids continue on corrupted and catatonic. It really kind of feels like a prequel to a much better movie that everyone already loved. I'm sure Zach Cregger has a masterpiece in his future, but I don't really think Weapons is it, personally. It's not a bad movie at its core, it's just really ultimately a pretty familiar story told in an unconventional manner with admittedly great direction to make it just kind of seem more profound. And now naturally with this box office success, there's already talk of a prequel in the works, which is ironic because as mentioned, this already feels like a long setup for a much better movie already. So one has to wonder if Alden Ehrenreich would return given his previous experience in a prequel to a widely popular movie. Finally, as an aside, the larger conversation about the movie's intent also just shows how media literacy is really kind of dead. Arguments across the internet have confused their own beliefs with the actual story being told in the movie. Like popular explanations for the movie range from school shootings to right-wing indoctrination. The director himself, Zach Cregger, has said it's not really about any of those things, even though it does kind of allude to those, but just the absolute ego of people today have resulted in them saying he's wrong and they're right about what's really going on. But none of the metaphors people are claiming the film is, quote, really about actually hold up under any sort of comparison or scrutiny. In the disinformation age where everyone can choose their own reality, they don't understand when they're confusing their own subjective interpretation with the actual objective intent of the movie. Sure, you can interpret it as being about school shootings, but that's not, quote, really what it's about with regards to Cregger's intent. It's a slow burn and supernatural thriller, not some grand metaphor of our times. If anything, the metaphor of our times is people thinking they know better than the actual qualified authority on the matter. Elsewhere in the box office this past weekend, a sequel to a remake, Freakier Friday, landed at number 2 with $45 million worldwide, which is made up of $29 million from the States and $16 million overseas. One of the biggest openings to a comedy in years, and could it also mark the beginning of the Lohanescence? Trademark. Just goes to show how there's an audience for something different, whether it be horror or comedy, unlike our next movie, Fantastic Four. So that came in at number 3 over the weekend, led by the ever-present Pedro Pascal and his mandatory mustache, continues to fall to the fantastic floor with a paltry $16 million. Pascal is probably cope groping every female co-star within a 5-foot radius at the moment. Just joking. I actually do love Pedro Pascal, and I think that whole thing is overblown, but, couldn't resist the joke. So Fantastic Four is another front-loaded and uninspired entry of the MCU multiverse mess, which will be lucky to cross the $500 million mark worldwide. It used to be a new MCU movie would easily mint $1 billion worldwide, and now general audiences really just don't give a flying fuck, or I guess should I say stretchy shit. This has no doubt alarmed Feige, who's probably on the phone right now with every actor in the original Avengers begging them with a blank check to come back, or probably paying Robert Downey Jr. another $60 million to now play both Reed and Sue in the latest and greatest upcoming MCU cape slop clusterfuck. Next up, we're going to talk about a Rambo prequel. So outside of the box office from Deadline this week, we got casting word that the Rambo prequel, which is on the way from Sisu director Jalmari Helander and Millennium Media. Noah Centineo, whose previous credits include To All the Boys I've Loved Before, Warfare, and the upcoming live-action Street Fighter movie where he's set to play Ken, is looking at being cast as the younger Rambo. 1982's Rambo First Blood was the first entry in the Rambo franchise, which spawned 4 additional sequels. And the First Blood in the title there really says it all. I don't think there's a need to further explore the character's backstory. Also, Sylvester Stallone is so iconically Rambo, it would be as much of a good idea as someone other than, Harrison Ford playing Han Solo. Finally, this week in movie news, we're going to talk about Maharaj. World Reel reported that SS Rajamouli is filming his RRR follow-up. It's being described as a dream project that will be the biggest and costliest Indian film ever made. A globe-trotting adventure that will see production travel through the forests of Kenya, among other exotic locations. Rajamouli took to social media to say that the scale and scope of his upcoming magnum opus are far too vast for photos or press events to capture. Instead, he revealed that the team is preparing something special to convey the project's essence, depth, and immersive world, with the reveal set for November. He also shared a first look at the film's poster, which we'll throw up on the screen now. Maharaj is starring Priyanka Chopra, Chatrop Athi Sakar, and Mahesh Babu. Reports suggest that Rajamouli has made his cast and crew sign an NDA, adhering to complete confidentiality while the film is being shot. RRR was a massive blockbuster and cultural juggernaut, taking over the world and giving new fans their first taste of Tollywood. A big and beautiful, bright, heroic epic with heart, humor, and loads of ass-kicking. Still continues to be a high watermark for how to do an action epic, which the rest of Hollywood still hasn't really caught up to in some ways. The soundtrack is also an absolute gem, especially the banger Nacho Nacho, which went on to win an Academy Award for Best Original Song. Next up, we're going to get into early buzz, and kicking us off is Nobody 2, which releases this weekend with Timo Tjahjanto, whose previous credits include 2021's VHS 94 and 2018's The Night Comes For Us, taking over directorial duties. Bob Odenkirk is back as suburban dad Hutch Mansell, a former lethal assassin who's pulled back into his violent past after thwarting a home invasion. It's sitting at a very positive 85% on Rotten Tomatoes, with the consensus being it's a goofy and fun summer flick with heart, which is best seen with a rowdy audience. Julian Roman from MovieWeb had this to say about it, quote, Nobody 2 cements Bob Odenkirk's status as a bona fide action star and a savage sequel that will kick your butt and break a foot doing it. There's also a genuine heart that elevates the film above the requisite bullets and beatdowns. Next up, David Poland from Hot Button, quote, This is exactly the kind of silly summer movie that I prefer seeing with an audience which laughs, gasps, and collectively rolls its eyes. If you enjoy this kind of movie, there is no spoiling it. It's a series of set pieces with simple characters. Finally, Jacob Aller from AV Club liked it less, saying, though the punches maintain their force in Nobody 2, the sole punchline they support has become a grating dad joke, one that you've heard so many times that it's lost all of its meaning. Also releasing this week is the long-delayed Americana, starring the internet's new boogie woman, Sydney Sweeney, who has unleashed a righteous anger among people for daring to be a jeans model or something. I don't know. Anyway, written and directed by Tony Tost, whose previous credits include writing a few episodes of Poker Face and The Terror, the story revolves around the lives of local outsiders and outcasts, violently intertwining when a rare Lakota ghost shirt falls onto the black market in a small South Dakota town. It's sitting at a fairly positive 77% on Rotten Tomatoes, with the consensus being that it offers evocative Old West imagery with interesting character work, which standard storytelling tropes will either amuse or bore you. Justin Lowe from The Hollywood Reporter had praise for it, saying, quote, Toast's portrayal of characters driven by unfettered greed or justifiable need gives voice to often ignored segments of society as they strive for agency and respect, an admirable quality in any narrative genre. Valerie Complex from Deadline Hollywood Daily has this to say, quote, Tony Toast's direction managed to avoid the common pitfalls first-time directors encounter by overcomplicating things, but the director keeps it simple by letting characters work within their frame. Finally, a little bit of criticism from Nick Shagger from the Daily Beast, quote, a sluggish and monotonous country-filled neo-noir that fails to innovate and worse to utilize its magnetic leading lady and her capable co-stars. Finally releasing this week is the latest Spike Lee joint, Highest to Lowest, reuniting Lee and Denzel after almost 20 years since 2006's great and underrated Inside Man, and marking their 5th collab together overall. Highest to Lowest stars Denzel as a Titan music mogul was targeted with a ransom plot, causing him to get jammed up in a life or death moral dilemma. It's sitting at a really positive 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, with the consensus being that it features 2 powerhouse performances from Denzel and co-star Jeffrey Wright in a dynamic, intense, quintessentially New York movie. Once again, we got a review from Julian Roman from MovieWeb, who says, quote, Denzel Washington gives an Oscar-caliber performance as a powerful music executive facing a deadly moral dilemma. Highest to Lowest continues to prove why Washington is arguably the best actor of his generation. Jeff Ewing from the Hashtag Show said this, quote, Highest to Lowest is another visionary turn from Spike Lee with a lot to say amidst excellent performances from Denzel and Jeffrey Wright. It feels less focused at the end, but it's still an exceptional example of Spike Lee's talents. Finally, Alex Billington from FirstShowing.net had a little bit of criticism, saying, quote, at best, it's a Saturday night TV movie, not meant for the big screen in any way. At worst, the studio should scrap it to save face with Kurosawa and save themselves from tarnishing his legacy. Ouch. All right, so we saw the early reviews for Highest to Lowest. We also got a new trailer that dropped, so we're going to take a look at that now.
New mixes of mood music. I need a theme. Theme music.
Hey!
Wake up, y'all. The king's here.
You got to pay back.
Buying back, stacking his records. It's a lot of money. There's
Yeah, this is
to life than just making money.
reuniting Denzel and Spike Lee, their 5th collab.
What you think? I think you
About
gotta be a little crazy sometimes.
20 years since Inside Man. They did Malcolm X, Mo Better Blues, He Got Game, Inside Man. This is number 5.
Somebody's got Trey.
What do you mean somebody's got?
Somebody's kidnapped our son.
$17.5 million in an all-black Jordan backpack.
Try me if you think I'm playing.
I ain't got.
Back up the trunk from the front.
Yeah, this looks good. Good soundtrack.
You let him go, I make sure you set free.
It's too late for all that.
Jeffrey
Never too
Wright,
late.
You're not God
awesome
no more,
actor.
nigga. I am.
Back 35 and I'm still a pretty guy.
I love a Spike Lee New York movie.
My lady and a newborn kid, and I ain't trying to go back and do another bid, you dig?
I know what it is to risk everything you have for something that you want. I know what that means, to have nothing. And want
ASAP
everything.
Rocky in it as well.
What is that?
Insurance. That's Jake from State Farm.
Shout out to my felons, boy, we caught another
This is going to be a good pairing seeing them too.
felons, boy, we caught another felony. Shout out to my felons, boy, we
I can't go out like this, you know that.
shout out to my felons.
Spike Lee also had a quintessential movie with 25th Hour. It's where the lone team up between him and Ed
I'll get out
Norton.
of it by myself. Where's my money? I got the 4-pounder sitting right here. Don't try nothing funny.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks dope. It's good to see them two reuniting, and Denzel can carry just about any movie with his charisma. You add in, Spike Lee's directing and Jeffrey Wright into the equation. That looks like it's going to be it. All right, cool. All right, next up, we got the new trailer, first trailer, really, for Marty Supreme. One of the Safdie brothers.
Hello?
Hey, it's Marty Mauser. I'm in the Royal Suite. I saw you in the lobby yesterday.
Okay.
Well, I never talked to an actual movie star. You know, I'm something of a performer, too.
So Safdie
You don't
brothers
believe me?
were like the Coen brothers. They did
What? You got the Daily
Good
Mail?
Time, Uncut Gems together. Now they've
It's a nice picture, right?
wanted to do their own projects.
I have a purpose.
Josh Safdie is doing the Smashing Machine with the Rock sports biopic. Benny Safdie, or sorry, Benny Safdie's doing the Smashing Machine. Josh Safdie is doing Marty Supreme. Both sports biopics, interestingly enough.
But I'm telling you, this game, it fills stadiums overseas.
Whereas this one's about ping pong.
Staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Oh, it's got that prick from the Shark Tank in it. Yeah, this looks like a pretty paint by the numbers sports biopic. Whereas the Smashing Machine is supposed to be pretty subversive and crazy, even though the trailer didn't show any of that. I've read reviews saying, early reviews saying that is the case.
You have no power here.
Whereas this one looks a lot more conventional. It's kind of hard to make ping pong exciting, so I'm not really sure
What do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't
what the
work
hook
out?
is for this one.
Enter my consciousness.
Timothy Chalamet, Gwyneth Paltrow, that asshole from the Shark Tank. Asshole. That guy's such an asshole. I don't know why he's
Now look at this.
in
It's
here.
an orange ball, which no one's ever thought of. See, you're already following it way better. Look at his eyes. You're looking more engaged now.
Buddy, custom ball like that is gonna cost a lot of money.
Of course it's custom. It's original ball for an original guy. It's the Marty Supremo, not the Marty normal ball.
Okay. Yeah, that one looks a lot more paint by the numbers than I would expect from a Safdie brother. Timothy Chalamet looks excellent as always, but the subject matter of like ping pong star biopic, yeah, well, I'm gonna have to wait for the reviews on that one to see how that one fares out. Okay, but that was Marty Supreme. Finally, this week we got the new trailer for Him. That is from executive producer Jordan Peele. Starting that now.
Do I look at you or the
You'll
camera?
just look right at me. You'll just ignore the camera. There are a lot of people saying you could be the next great quarterback. I can already see it now.
This is kind of how I am when I'm recording these trailers. Like, oh, yeah, I gotta remember where to look sometimes.
I've been invited to train with legend Isaiah White himself. Care to elaborate?
I want to be the GOAT.
Yeah, so he is getting mentored by Marlon Wayans, the aging quarterback.
I'm a fan. That's crazy.
Marlon Wayans is like in his 50s in real life. Even Tom Brady couldn't make it till 50. So, a little suspension of disbelief. Thankfully, black don't crack.
You want to play at your highest
Yeah, Monkey Paw Productions, that's Jordan Peele's production company.
Let me tell you something. This ain't a game.
Very interesting to take
Just gonna toss the ball around a little.
the NFL and infuse a horror story into that. There's a lot of potential there.
I understand. Oh, too slow. Wait, what are we doing? That man's smile about to be on the floor. This is how you do your teammate? What is this?
Shut hard! Evil looks, enemies, cynically. Shut hard! Shut hard!
In this game, violence is rewarded, so learn to enjoy it.
Get your shit together!
Yeah. This looks crazy. They're really
Are you okay?
selling this through the Jordan Peele name, too.
You don't know what you're getting yourself
It's all over the marketing materials.
Now we playing some football!
Don't have to do this.
Activate my hip.
The shot looked very much
I've never been
like The
more
Last
certain of
Supper,
anything in my
clearly
life.
an homage to that.
And how bad does Cameron Cade want it?
I ain't a killer, but don't push me.
I'm not just gonna give it to you. You got to take it from me.
I ain't a killer, but don't push me.
What if I say no?
A lot of crazy imagery.
Think of it as a gift from the gods.
But don't push me.
Interested to figure out who the cinematographer, director of photography was in this one. A lot of arresting shots. Yeah, hopefully they could nail the landing on that. Justin Tipping, that looks bonkers. Marlon Wayans looks like he's given another great performance. We haven't seen enough dramatic performances from him. Whenever he does, it's usually something special, like Requiem for a Dream, and that whole thing looks crazy. So yeah, looking forward to that. Cool. That's a wrap for today's episode of the Weekly Reel. New episodes drop at the end of every week, so you get a quick hit of what's really going on in the real world before heading into your weekend. If you're on YouTube and you like what you saw, then hit that bell below. Or if you're just listening to the pod, then please follow the show. But either way, feel free to drop a review in the comments. We appreciate you listening and have a great weekend.